Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So they released a short little clip of when they found Cleo. So precious. Here, I'm going to play it for you right now. So the first part is just the audio, and then there's a second clip that has the video. So the audio is when they actually go into the house. Initially, the first contact they make with her, and then the video is when they take her out of the house. Well, you'll see. Here it is.
I got it. Hey, Bobby.
Bring the camera in.
Hey, come here. Come here. I've got you, Bobby.
What's your name?
You're alright.
What's your name? What's your name, sweetheart?
My name is Cleo.
Your name
You're
is
all
Cleo.
right.
Hello, Cleo. Yes.
Cleo, my name's Cameron. How are you? Are you okay? We're going to take you to see your mummy and daddy, okay? Is that good?
Wow, how sad and happy is that? Like, it makes you feel happy that they found her, but just so sad because just thinking about what this poor little girl went through and how afraid she was and what happened to her. I hope nothing bad happened to her. I mean, I know something bad happened to her as far as she got abducted, but like, I don't know. I just hope it wasn't that bad for her. Okay, so they released the guy's name that abducted her, and somebody in jail took justice into their own hands. And I'm not mad, but let's see what it says. It says, how the loner arrested over Cleo Smith's abduction was bashed in his cell by another prisoner as soon as he realized he was the alleged kidnapper, with attack putting him in the hospital. A man arrested over the alleged kidnapping of Cleo Smith was allegedly attacked by another prisoner inside a police holding cell and has been taken to a hospital a second time. Terry Kelly, 36, had only been at Carnarvon Police Station in Western Australia for a few hours on Wednesday when he was allegedly set upon by a prisoner. Kelly was arrested over the alleged abduction of little Cleo, who was missing for 18 days after disappearing from a campsite 75 kilometers from her home while on holiday with her family. The prisoner's mother told Daily Mail Australia her son was furious when he discovered why Kelly had been arrested. As soon as he heard this bloke was arrested over that little Cleo, he blew up. Beat him black and blue, the woman said. I tell you what, Kelly, got a real hiding. My son had to be taken out in shackles, and Kelly, was taken for treatment. He was in a bad way. He is a big bloke, but he really copped it. A spokesman for the Western Australia Police Force said detectives would not be commenting on the women's claims, but confirmed that the man in custody had been treated in hospital for a range of injuries, including some self-harm. Kelly was loaded into an ambulance outside the police station yesterday morning and taken to a hospital for treatment. A large white bandage was wrapped around his head. Police Deputy Commissioner Colonel Blanche told Sydney's Radio 2GB the alleged kidnapper was returned to hospital on Thursday morning, but his injuries are not serious. Cleo, 4, was found by startled detectives in the early hours of Wednesday morning in a locked house in her hometown of Carnarvon, 18 days after she disappeared from a remote campsite while on holiday with her parents. Detectives used crowbars and battering rams to kick in the door and free Cleo about 12:46 a.m. Wednesday from a home just 7 minutes away from where she lives with her mom, Ellie, stepdad, Jake Glidden, and baby sister, Isla. Remarkable body cam footage captured the moment Cleo was rescued by detectives, with the brave little girl clinging to her savior as she is gently spoken to and told she would soon see her mommy. 4 fathers walked into that room. They might have been wearing guns and detective suits, but they were 4 fathers, Mr. Blanche said. Shocked neighbors tell Daily Mail Australia they were first alerted to the commotion when the police floodlights lit up their cul-de-sac, which is normally bustling with children playing in the front yards and at the park across the road during daylight hours. My nephews went up to see what was going on, and then they saw cops leading out the little white girl. A neighbor who has known Kelly for more than a decade said. He described the accused as a loner who never really made an effort to speak with people in the cul-de-sac and never brought friends back to his house. Others woke to the news that Cleo had been rescued, filing into the streets before the sun even rose to watch the scene unfold. West Australian police shared an adorable first photo of Cleo since she was rescued, smiling with an ice block in hospital in her frozen pajamas. The miracle we all hope for, they wrote. The neighbor said he was a loner who kept to himself and was not type of person anyone else in the street would have a yarn with, despite being a long-term resident. He last saw Kelly just 3 days after little Cleo disappeared. Former friends say Kelly had not long been freed from jail. Detectives allege Kelly was behaving suspiciously in the 18 days since Cleo vanished, doing laps of his street at all hours of the day and buying toddler nappies from his grocery store despite not being known to have children. Dogs that he usually kept in the backyard of his home were also suddenly moved to the front of the home. His grandmother raised him, but after she died a year or so ago, nobody went over to yarn to him, he said. He got a new car after. He used to park it in the driveway and then close the gate every day. Always went and put the car in the same spot and closed the gate. So here's the map. So you see here's Cleo's home. And then this is where they found her. So it's 7 minutes away. Here's a picture of the guy's house. That very car was reportedly crucial to cracking the case, with police revealing they received important information about a car, which they confirmed with phone data and a lot of forensic leads. Within hours, they'd raided Kelly's home. We've collected phone data, witness statements, DNA, fingerprints, rubbish along the highways, CCTV. We've collected everything, Mr. Blanche said. It is not clear if Cleo was held at the home for the entire 3 weeks she was missing or if she'd been moved around several times. The vital tip-off was the last piece of the puzzle in a case that until then frustrated and eluded detectives and had Australians fearing Cleo would never be found, let alone alive. Neighbors would often see Kelly walk into and from the local grocery store, keeping his head down and talking to nobody. But when one man saw Kelly buying toddler diapers, he was confused because he didn't know the 36-year-old to have any children. Even though he knew it was strange, he didn't report his suspicions, police have confirmed, but we didn't click on what he was buying them for. He'd also been doing laps of the street at different times during the day, driving in and out repeatedly and at random hours. He doesn't have his dogs at the front normally. He has his dogs out the back. But through this week, he had his dogs out the front, neighbor Henry Dodd told 9 News. Mr. Dodd revealed he watched Cleo come out on the shoulder of a detective in the middle of the night. I went closer to the detective's car, and I saw her in the back of the car with the detective. He was holding her. They put her in the back, and I came over, rushed over here, and seen her there. She looked at me, a bit scared. Mr. Dodd said he was shocked he had been just meters away from her while the nationwide hunt was going on for her. I just can't believe it. And get over the fact that she is just the house down from us and locked up here for a couple weeks, he added. Going on 3 weeks. She is straight across from us. I've got little sisters there. Police have confirmed that there were several signs that led them to suspect Terry Kelly rather than one particular lead. Acting on community reports, detectives began to notice a pattern of suspicious activity from the 36-year-old. While he was not linked to the family, police say there were behaviors over the past 18 days since Cleo disappeared that were out of the ordinary. First, he started doing laps of his own street at all hours of the day or night. Neighbors were also confused when they saw Kelly buying toddler nappies at the local Woolworths, despite not having any children. He was also purchasing food he wouldn't normally buy. Finally, the man's dogs had recently been moved from the backyard into the front of the house. Data from his phone was also collected to track his movements in the days leading to his arrest, further solidifying the theories that were being fleshed out among detectives. Kelly's name was widely circulated among the local community within hours of his arrest, and he's now the subject of intense public outrage. The 36-year-old has not been charged with an offense, and Daily Mail Australia does not suggest charges will be laid, only that he is assisting police. Police Commissioner Chris Dawson said the man has no connection to Cleo or her family. After she was rescued, detectives took Cleo to the car and called her parents, saying, "We've got someone here that wants to speak with you." It was a wonderful feeling to make that call. They were ecstatic. Cleo cried out, "Mommy!" as she finally returned to her mother's arms, having not seen her family in an agonizing 18 days. Mr. Belang described the little girl as an Energizer bunny and confirmed she was physically unharmed when she was found. When asked if it was the best moment of his career, the sergeant replied, "Without a doubt. We wanted to take turns holding her." Oh, that's so sweet. So here's another map showing where the campsite was, where she was taken from, and then where they found her. Oh, police said she was smiling when she was rescued. Okay, so that's that, guys. Such good news. So happy they found her. And I'm going to be interested to see what this guy says and if they are going to charge him. I hope they charge him with something. Guy's too dangerous to be out on the streets because he'll do it again. Just wanted to share this info with you all. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Really, 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 really need your love. I'm begging you to be kind. I'm begging you to be kind.